Hey guys, we're the Bolden Gamers, and we're just doing a quick recap on Apple's Time Flies event and just some of the other tech-related news that's been going on.
Yeah, so it happened on the 15th of September, 2020, if you listen to this in the future.
Exactly.
Just so you know.
Yeah, boom, but I hope they are listening to it in the future rather than the past, because that'd just be really weird.
Long after we're dead.
Oh, wow, that's horrific.
2 years for sure.
No, oh, wow, thanks. So it's going to be mostly focused on, obviously, what Apple talked about, what they didn't talk about, and there's going to be so many other videos out there and podcasts out there as well covering this topic, but we just wanted to kind of give you some of our thoughts on it, especially since we're both kind of from that industry.
Yeah.
So it'd just be interesting to kind of go through it. And first thing is, I suppose, if you hadn't been watching the news leading up to this, you'd have probably been a little bit gutted that they didn't talk about the iPhone.
I was. And, I was looking forward to it.
Yeah, and you know, obviously keeping up with all the tech news, everything that's been going on, and Apple's financial results, where they did say that it was going to be delayed by a couple of weeks anyway. We kind of knew this event wasn't going to have it, but I don't know what that was. Apparently, I can't speak anymore. But yeah, so we knew that wasn't going to happen, but it still felt really disappointing and
It felt kind of empty. They didn't talk about much, I thought, from what I've read.
No, there wasn't a huge amount there, and the Apple Watch without an iPhone announcement just doesn't quite feel right. And you know, some of the things that they did cover off, so we've got the new Apple Watch Series 6, we've got an Apple Watch SE, which, by the way, called it a couple of months ago, did a video on that bad boy saying that Apple kind of needed that.
We'll link it.
We'll link it. Boom. And yeah, it just felt empty not having that hooked up with the iPhone. And there were things like they've announced, obviously, so the new iOS 14 goes live today, and iPadOS goes live today, and Apple Watch... Yeah, it goes live.
Oh, it's 16th today.
Yeah, today's the 16th. So that's all going live today, but without an iPhone launch for people to be counting down towards. And, you know, obviously you're kind of more impacted by this at the moment because it literally has an impact on what you sell.
Yeah, so I sell phones from a van on the street. And lots of people are really... asking about it now because it's that time of year when people come in, they're like, "Oh, I'm looking for a new iPhone," and as I'm a good consciously a word?
Conscientious?
Conscientious? I can't say it.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Liam is conscientious.
Because I don't want to sell people the old phone if they're asking for the new one. It does make things at a standstill when they're like, "Oh, I'm looking for the new phone." I'm like, "Oh, we got the iPhone 11 or iPhone 11 SE or Pro and Max," but really they want the 12.
Yeah.
So right now, like my job's at a standstill.
Yeah, and it's weird as well because I think Apple is sort of at that stage where they could literally not launch an iPhone 12 this year. They could do no iPhone launch, and I don't think it would really affect things that massively. No. But I suppose for their bottom line is they still have those diehard fans and so many customers that do, regardless of what they do with the iPhone 12, they could literally just slap an A14 processor in the body of an iPhone 11 and people would buy it. But it's interesting. It's bizarre that it hasn't been announced, and I get it. This year is kind of unprecedented in terms of what's going on, but it just felt empty and disappointing. But
I mean, are we thinking that they're going to announce one in 3 weeks?
Apparently there's going to be another event in October as well. So this event was focused at iPad, services, and Apple Watch, and next month's event is going to be focused at iPhone. And I kind of have to wonder, will they bring in the Apple Silicon Max as well with that and just have a very big focus on their new line of silicon, so kind of covering off things like the A14 processor and the benefits of that and what silicon goes into the new Mac and hopefully the 12-inch and the rumoured MacBook Pro 14-inch as well will be interesting to see. But I guess time will tell. And what they covered off in this one, so Apple Series 6 is basically exact same form factor as we've got in the Series 4 and the Series 5, so it looks identical. We've got some new colour, so yeah, Apple product red.
Oh, nice. What charity do they support?
AIDS.
They support AIDS. Hey, I think AIDS and COVID right now. They're doing both.
Oh, of course they are, aren't they? Yeah. But yeah, it looks really nice. I don't think I'd have it myself.
I haven't looked at it.
Yeah, have a peek. And I think... Stop peeking at me. It's weird.
I'll put it away.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I think at first it would be nice, but on a phone it's not so bad because you don't have it out all the time. But actually, if you're wearing it on the wrist, it's going to clash with a lot of the straps and everything.
What colour is your watch?
It's the
grey,
space grey.
Mine is the white one.
Yeah.
Well, I think these go quite well with anything.
With pretty much anything. But
it does look nice, but
yeah, and there's a blue one.
Oh, yeah.
So doing a blue, so that kind of.
I like.
Yeah, they
blue
look
one
nice,
more.
yeah. And I think it's one of those things that they're going to be, I guess, foreshadowing what's coming with the iPhone 12. I would imagine there's been rumours about a blue iPhone 12 coming, so that's kind of hinting that that's coming. Your benefits of the Apple Watch Series 6, so it's got a new S6 processor inside of it, which is based on, obviously, Apple Silicon, and I think it's based on the A13 chips as a variant of it. So it's better power efficiency, and because of that, it can get brighter. So again, if you're somebody who uses this outside a lot and you struggle to see it, I've never had that much of an issue with mine, but it's a much brighter screen, which is obviously really handy. But it's also got the you can measure your blood oxygen level.
Yeah, I don't know what that would be for.
It's to help with things like training and fitness. It can see how blood O2. Yeah, Liam's just showing me things on the screen.
Sorry.
So it's to help with things like fitness and training levels, but it can also help to detect illnesses. So, for example, COVID at the moment, it can reduce the oxygen saturation in your body. So, with things like the ECG sensor on there and other level monitors that the Apple Watch has, it can start to really do a decent thing with that. And Apple have launched a load of medical trials with this, because one of those things that Apple are quite well known for is that when they brought out the ECG sensor, it was a case of they got all sorts of medical trials going so they could, I suppose, push that tech forward in the way it actually realistically helps people. They don't just stick a sensor on there and it never does anything, which is quite nice. A better day begins with a better night. Oh,
okay?
I don't think I can read. So obviously it has sleep tracking, but so do the previous models as well. Obviously with the new Watch OS as well, which will be interesting to see. Probably more interestingly was that they brought out the Apple Watch SE, which is basically a Series 5 shell, but pretty much with the guts of a Series 4. It just doesn't have things like the ECG or the oxygen level monitor on there, so it doesn't have some of the bells and whistles that you'd get, but I think those things are more novel for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it comes in at a price of $299.
That's good.
Dollars
That's
or
a really
pounds,
good price,
depending
yeah.
where you're at. So coming up to the Christmas period, that's going to sell like hotcakes.
Yeah, because the watch it's an amazing device. It is expensive for what it is, though,
Yeah.
and I don't need it for health because I'm healthy as jazz.
He's not.
Right, they can see the video. They're looking at you here.
Or hear your voice. Oh
my.
well, there you go.
But yeah, I don't use it for health things. Blood oxygen, I've got blood, I've got oxygen. I'm fine. I'm healthy. But what I use it for is notifications, and if I do go on a walk, I like it to see how far I've walked.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, so I suppose you've got this new device. It's a very fancy Fitbit.
Yeah.
Basically a fancy Fitbit, and that's the market that they're going to be going for with something like the iPhone SE. And the Apple Watch Series 3 is staying on sale for $199.
Again, really good.
Which the Apple Series 3 still stands up as a good device. You don't need some of these additional things on there. So
Only downside of a 3 is the actual screen size. It's too small for me. I like mine big.
fair enough. Make a mental note of that. Liam likes his big. The other things that got shown also, the new iPad Air, which is...
It looks like the Pro.
It is basically it's a 10.9 inch display rather than 11 inch,
Yeah.
but it's basically the same form factor as an iPad Pro 11 inch. It works with the Magic Keyboards, works with the Apple Pencil Generation 2, has the quad speakers on there, which is a massive win. Yep. The only thing it doesn't really have, so it doesn't have Face ID, so it's got Touch ID built into the power key.
Oh, that's good.
Which is, especially in the day of COVID where everyone's got masks, that's, hopefully something that's going to be coming to the iPhones in the future. It doesn't have it has 60 hertz wrist play? So it doesn't have ProMotion like the iPad Pros have on there. So you're looking at a difference of about $150. So it retails from $599 and starts with 64 gig. And it comes in a range of new colours, like a mint colour and like
Is there a blue one?
There's a blue one, yeah.
They are bringing the blue.
Yeah, they're loving the blue at the moment.
Blue.
So the iPad Air suddenly became a lot more appealing in terms of form factor.
Yeah. So I've got the Pro myself, and I love it. I think it's mint, but I don't use it for what it is.
Yep.
For me, it's for playing games, watching films, sometimes taking notes, but I don't use it to what it could be used for.
Yeah.
If I was to upgrade, which I probably won't because I got the Pro.
Yeah.
But if I wanted a new one, the Air would be absolutely perfect for me.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the only thing where it becomes a difficult decision is, do you go for a refurb 2018 model, because they go for about $600, which is basically the same price, and your benefit there is you get the ProMotion display. And one thing that's kind of unprecedented is Apple brought out the A14 processor in the Air, which so it's the first time where that has debuted in an iPad rather than the iPhone, because obviously the iPhone's delayed, and that's crazy. So a much better performance. It has boosted performance.
Much better performance and boosted performance.
Yeah, much better performance and boosted performance, and graphics performance is increasing everything. So that'll be interesting to see how that actually performs in, I guess, real world situations.
And again, it's all pointing towards a good iPhone when it does come out, like with the new watch and the new iPad. It is all pointing towards something better. We just don't know what it would be.
Exactly, that's it. And we'll kind of, I suppose, throw a few ideas around after we've finished off, kind of covering off this bit, but. Apple One.
Yeah, one good thing Apple have done.
No. Get out.
Sorry.
Get out. Get out.
Asthma attack. I love blood oxygen levels.
If only you knew, Liam. I tell you what, Series 6 will sort you right out. Boom.
Today was sponsored by Apple.
It wasn't, just to clear that up before Apple come for us. But Apple One, so obviously Apple are really going hard into the subscription models. And basically, Apple One allows you to bundle all of those. So there are 3 tiers. There's like the basic one, there is a family tier, and there's a premier tier. And I think it's $29.99 for the premier tier, and I forget what the others are. But they're an all-round good package. If you're somebody, you've got them here. Go on.
So individual tier, you get Apple Music, Apple Arcade, Apple TV Plus, and 50 gigabytes of iCloud storage.
For how much?
For £14.95 a month.
95?
£14.95 a month as well.
How weird.
Family, you get all of the above, except you get 200 gigabytes of iCloud storage, and that's only £5 a month more, so £19.95. So
and you can share that with your family.
Yeah, share up to 5 other people. So that's really good. My iCloud storage, I've got the 50 gig now, and I use about 18.
Yeah.
So that's good. And Premiere, like Sean said, is $29.95 a month, and you can share that with 5 other people again.
Mm-hmm.
But you get 2 terabytes of iCloud storage and Apple Fitness when it comes into it.
Yeah, so Apple Fitness is something that they've just announced that's coming later this year, and I suppose it's like Peloton, but for Apple Watch.
Like
and
what?
Peloton.
What's that?
It's like a fitness thing. It's more American, I believe, but that you could get the bikes and you had them on a subscription and there's a big screen on it and you saw the fitnesses. And basically that's what happens with this. So how it all links is you'd get your Apple Watch would be tracking your workout, and it'd be on your Apple TV, iPad, your iPhone to show you what workouts you do, and you'd be like, hoo ha, hoo ha, hoo ha, and it just all links up, and links in with Apple Music and everything as well. So
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Have you ever worked out before? Because the noises you just made.
Yeah, I just worked out then.
Yeah.
That's how you work out.
I'm sweating enough for it. So.
So Apple Fitness has come in, and if you buy an Apple Watch, I think you get 3 months free.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Interesting to kind of trial it out. So yeah, really going hard with the Apple subscription models, which I suppose has been a long time coming, is they're really trying to push this, because you get some of those things like Apple Arcade. Recently trialled that out, and it just, for me, it didn't add anything of benefit or anything of value. So I suppose having it as a bundle, it's not too bad. You then use it with that, and I guess it might get more developers on board depending on how many people start to use it. So that's starting, I think it's already gone live.
Apple One, has it?
Apple One, I might be lying. Liam's going to find out, apparently. He's going to have a quick gander and find out for you. But yeah, it's good.
No, autumn,
sorry, I lied. But yeah, an all-round good package, especially if you're somebody who is really into the Apple ecosystem and needs that additional storage.
Especially with your family. How much? I mean, it's 79p now for 50 gigabytes of iCloud storage.
Well, to put it in perspective, so I pay for Apple Music Family, and that's $14.99 a month on its own.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's really good then. So it's actually cheaper than that.
Yeah, and then I pay for, I think it's 2 terabytes of storage.
Okay.
For my Apple devices, and I think that's $6.99 a month.
So altogether, how much are you paying altogether?
So it's what, like 22 quid?
Yeah. So you should go for family. Do you use all the you got a Mac though, don't you?
Yeah.
You got your iMac, so that uses a lot more.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where for, I suppose, certain users that's going to be really handy, and I guess they're going to get the extra revenue from the services you don't particularly use quite as much, but it gets you into it.
Do you think you're going to go for Premiere? So it'll be about £7 a month more than what you're paying right now? Oh, okay.
Because just those services
No, just leave it. No, just say no.
Just no.
No.
Do you think you'd go for any?
No. The reason is I use Spotify instead of Apple Music. I just prefer it.
Yeah.
Apple TV Plus, I've already got a year's of it for free. So, and I've not watched any of it yet.
No.
I don't have Apple TV to plug into my TV. and I don't really watch that much stuff on my iPad.
Fair enough.
And Apple Arcade, again, I just don't think I'd ever get any use from it. So
absolutely not. Apple Arcade is just... It's very pretty, the interface is very good, and it works really well, but it doesn't have any content, in my opinion. There's a couple of games on there that I played during the review of it, and it was interesting, but it certainly wasn't worth any money per month.
I think it's more my mindset, but I still don't see iPads or iPhones as a gaming device, which is what I think they're trying to push it. I don't... Yeah, because I'm cheap, and I still got probably an archaic memory and thought of batteries. I don't want to be playing games for ages on my iPad or phone, because like my phone battery is really poor right now.
Yeah,
just from playing too many things on it. I just don't want to do that to my iPad. I don't want to have my iPad plugged in every time.
That does make sense. But you don't want to be destroying your battery.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I guess with Apple Arcade, you might kind of fall into that trap. And they do get hot, as much as obviously it's active cooling and blah blah blah. They do get very very hot with these devices.
I used to play Fortnite on them. Yeah. Which is a day long gone. They would get really hot.
So that's all the stuff that was covered off at the event, and I suppose now, like we said earlier, hopefully in October, I would imagine there will be another iPhone coming this year. There's no way they're just going to skip it. And I mean, that has been leaked to death.
Yes.
It's pretty much been leaked to death. And I suppose the one big question on everyone's mind at the moment is, will they manage to get ProMotion into it? And will they manage to get that 120 hertz display? And a lot of tech sites are slating Apple and saying, if they don't do it, it's kind of game over. The likes of Samsung have done it and all the other big manufacturers. But I genuinely don't think the average consumer cares.
No. I mean, I would say I'm probably more than an average consumer, and I don't care.
Exactly. I like it on the iPad. I really like it on the iPad. And you can notice the difference going back to another iPad or another tablet. You can definitely see it. But I just think on a phone, I've never looked at my iPhone and gone, I wish this was just a little bit more buttery smooth. They don't particularly slow down. It doesn't really need it.
And again, not to be like a battery dweller, but what would it do to the battery life of the phone?
Yeah, exactly. There's trade-offs they've got to make, and I can understand if it doesn't make it. Yeah, they'll get slated by tech circles and people in the know, but the genuine actual consumer and the average person, or even above the average person, does not care. They're not going to notice it. And the trade-offs is like, obviously the Note 12 is a Note 12, isn't it? Not the Note 11. I've suddenly forgotten my numbers. But the latest Samsung Galaxy Note, we'll go with
Note
that.
Ultra.
The Note Ultra. Note Ultra. The trade-off it has to make there is to drop it into a lower resolution to be able to pull off the additional refresh. And I just think I'd rather just have a consistent experience on my iPhone, not having to sit and decide, do I go for that, do I go for that? And again, for the average consumer, they're not necessarily going to understand it or get it, and they're going to have all these questions. So it'll be nice if they can manage it at the proper resolution and they can do it well, then great.
Yeah.
The thing I'm excited for is the 5.4-inch display model. Then finally,
is that going to be the size of the old SE?
No, it'll probably be a little bit bigger. So it's going to be a bit bigger, but finally a small iPhone that isn't
bad.
It isn't bad. Cheap. Yeah, exactly. The iPhone SE is, I suppose, a lightweight iPhone and a really good budget device, and it's powerful as well. It's in an old design. Having a small iPhone that looks modern probably won't have all the bells and whistles.
No.
Whistles.
Won't
have all the bells and whistles of an iPad Pro. I'm losing my mind. iPhone Pro.
Yeah,
but
full screen edge display. Yeah. Hopefully a smaller notch. Oh no, I've
caught it. Oh, it's contagious.
Oh god, what have we been up to? Yeah, smaller notch, edge display, fits in your pocket fine. That's the one I think I would go for.
Yeah,
the smaller one.
Absolutely.
I don't need this big heafy thing.
That's it. I've got the iPhone 11 Pro Max at the moment, which is a mouthful, and it's also a handful. And, I like what I did there. And it's too big.
Yeah.
It's too big. I don't watch that much video on it.
No.
And I would quite happily have a smaller, lighter device, as long as it didn't make too many trade-offs.
I've got the iPhone 10. I actually think it's quite a good size, but again, I don't fancy it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just go for 5.4 would be... And if that's the budget, are we thinking they're going to release 3?
Yeah, 3, so that'll be like the replacement for the iPhone 11.
Yeah.
And then you'll have your Pro and your Pro Max.
Obviously, it all depends on what's going on. If the Pro and Pro Max have 5G, and the 5.4 one doesn't, I would probably go for one of them just to have a 5G.
Why? Well, a 5G literally doesn't matter at all. It's such infancy at the moment that...
It's all not where we live, where I work's got 5G now.
Oh, okay.
Probably a conversation we should have had earlier.
Yeah, but
I
even
think I'd
still,
like
you've
it.
got Wi-Fi at those...
But I would rather be able to almost future-proof, because if I'm having a phone for 2 years, I don't want to be like, oh, I'm stuck on 4G. It depends how widespread it gets.
I guess so, but my opinion at the moment is people aren't allowed out of the houses anyway, so
No,
you've got
and
Wi-Fi.
it causes... No, I won't say it.
No, don't say it. Don't say it.
No, I don't want to be that
rabbit hole. But yeah, 5G. I love the idea of it. I just think again, it's in its infancy at the moment. There's different versions of 5G coming in the future as well. So what we have at the moment probably isn't the long-term rollout solution, which is frustrating. So you can get it now, and it's going to be outdated tech anyway. So you say future-proof, but it's not.
But again, for me, I'll be getting one of the new phones.
Yeah,
and obviously the 5G one will work with 4G, but I don't want one which is limited to just 4G.
Fair enough.
That's my thinking behind it.
Yeah, okay. We'll agree to disagree.
No, you're wrong.
Okay, wow, you are absolutely wrong. But
thanks for agreeing.
No, it's okay, because I do the editing afterwards, so therefore I can change certain things.
Just edit your laptop for mine.
No, we're not doing that. Don't worry. There's not that kind of show. But apart from that, so we're most likely going to have the A14 processor in there.
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty much a given. So it's going to be more powerful. It's going to be more power efficient as well. And to be honest, that's what I want to see Apple go for now. Is just making those battery gains, because it's just
like I said, mine's bad. What? Mine's 2 generations old. Is it even 2 generations? Yeah,
10, 10S, 11, and now we're going on to 12.
Yeah,
so you know it is. It's not showing its age, but the battery is,
it is poor.
Yeah. So that'd be nice if they can improve the battery with the A14 processor and all of that. One thing I would absolutely love to see Apple do, and it's just been such a long time coming, is increase the RAM capacity. And I get that iOS is... Apple are good with RAM management, but the amount of times I'll be doing something, flick to another app, and it just force closes the other app in the background and starts it again. YouTube is a prime example of that. If you suddenly load the camera app or anything, it just can't manage to multitask. The iPhone is abysmal at multitasking because it just doesn't have enough RAM to do it, and that drives me mental. And again, it's because they scrimp on the RAM.
I mean, honestly, I've not experienced that, but I use my phone probably a lot less than you do. I'm a very basic user. I don't.
And they don't need to go for Android craziness of 12 gig or anything like that. Yeah, that's just stupid. But just give us a little bit of extra RAM, please, Apple.
Just RAM, Sean Apple. Come on,
I just need it. I just need it.
Needs a good RAM.
Just to put it in there. Oh wow! And moving on, so obviously we are going to be going for that iPad sort of design by looks of things. So they're boxy, squared off to side. I like that.
It. I think it looks a lot nicer. It's kind of squarish with a rounded corners.
Exactly, flat edge. They say that the notch is probably going to stay the same size, and I get that, because even having a smaller notch, then it's going to be noticeable regardless.
I suppose, yeah. And for way I like how the notch works. You got your 2 main things, top right, and it doesn't actually take part of the screen.
Yeah,
they've made it work well.
Yeah, they've done the best they can with it, but until the notch is just gone, I don't really care what they do with it at the end of the day. Face ID, I would imagine, probably get slight improvement. But for the most part, everything's just been leaked already. We know pretty much what is coming, and the only uncertainty is that ProMotion display and what the difference will be between the smaller iPhone and then your Pros as well. So that will be intriguing. And then there's going to be the whole thing is, are they going to put accessories in the box? And
I forgot about that.
And it's weird because this has been such a big scandal at the moment with loads of people talking about it and saying how outrageous it is. But who still uses it unless you're brand new to the ecosystem? I get maybe the cable. The cable's quite handy to have.
Yeah.
But everybody now has a USB outlet.
Yeah.
Or some kind of thing. And no one needs earpods in the box because A, they're not great and they're just going to get thrown away. And in this day and age where we're trying to cut down on waste and everything, it makes sense. And all we have to do is do it as a bundle so you can buy it at cost.
Yeah.
And I suppose we're already used to this, so without mentioning the name of it, we worked beforehand, but they did that. Almost all the accessories got taken out of the phones beforehand, and you could buy them at cost because it just makes sense.
If someone needs it, yeah. Because it's just purely environmental. Like you said, the amount of waste of thrown out plugs is insane these days. And Apple, I think if they get rid of it, they're going to get loads of stick, but they are doing a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with it. And people are saying, oh, well, it's Apple just trying to save costs and make more profit and blah, blah, blah. Maybe that's part of it, but also Apple are big on,
all of their wood is recycled, all of their cardboard.
I don't think it's necessarily them trying to push a profit. I just think it makes sense in this day and age now where everybody already has these accessories that just stay in the box or get chucked out. And as long as they offer a solution for customers to be able to buy them and make it very clear as well, because the last thing they want is somebody who's new buying a device, having sold off the old one with the accessories, and they get their box and go, great, can't use this. Can't use this because I didn't get all the stuff in the box, which is really frustrating. But yeah, apart from that, that's just pretty much everything's known. So I'll be interested to see what happens and whether or not Apple Silicon Macs show up at the same event as well, or if that will come in like a November event or something like that. I'd imagine they'll push it out a little bit, but it might be a bit of an anemic sort of...
they need a watch to check their blood levels.
Yeah, I wasn't meant to say anemic. I've got the words wrong, but yeah, it's going to be a very, I guess, sparse event otherwise, but I guess we'll see. Only time will tell.
Anemic.
Anemic? What was...
That's when you got low iron in your blood.
Yeah, I know. If it's one of those things that it'll be a sparse event. If it's just the iPhone and the iPhone on its own, I don't feel that they've got enough to cover off, unless there's some just absolute out of the blue thing that they've also got to throw in there. So maybe Apple Silicon Macs will make an appearance, but again, one of those things, only time will tell. We have no idea at this stage because, up until a few weeks ago, we kind of thought that the iPhone would have been announced yesterday, but no iPhones. No iPhone for you, no iPhone for you, and no iPhone for anyone else. So that wraps things up for us. I think we've kind of covered off pretty much the majority of things that were covered yesterday at the event, and some of the things that are coming up as well, and our thoughts on that. I think regardless of what Apple brings to the table, it's going to be a hot seller. Like I said, you could slap an A14 processor in the old 11s and they would still sell like mad. They could literally not release a device and put the focus on Apple Watch and iPad this quarter, but
I just want a new phone. That's all I want, a new phone.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's it. And Liam is the reason why they do their annual cycles, because he just needs a new phone. He just wants something new to play with.
Yep.
So, as always, really hope you've enjoyed this episode. We'll be doing these on a regular basis going forward as well. So if you've got any ideas of what you would like to see, be sure to head over to our social media channels and let us know.
Also, if you want to hear anything, because we're doing this as a podcast as well.
Yeah, well, that's why I said episode.
But you said see.
Oh, or if you want to hear anything as well, sorry. I'm going to have to get used to the lingo. Thanks, Liam.
It's okay, Sean.
Boom. As it say, anything you want to see or hear, do let us know across on our social media channels, and we will do our best to cover that. So, again, thanks for listening or watching, and ta-ra for now.
Au revoir.
Bye.
Bye.